1. The beginning is the most important part of the work. 2. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. 3. At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. 4. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. 5. Ignorance, the root and stem of every evil. 6. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. 7. Courage is knowing what not to fear. 8. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. 9. The measure of a man is what he does with power. 10. Knowledge which is acquired under compulsion has no hold on the mind. 11. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. 12. There are two things a person should never be angry at, what they can help and what they cannot. 13. Only the dead have seen the end of war. 14. Democracy passes into despotism. 15. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. 16. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. 17. Necessity is the mother of invention. 18. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. 19. Ideas are the source of everything. 20. He was a wise man who invented beer. 21. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. 22. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. 23. This truth should be respected more than all else. To say what is false is base, but to speak the truth is honorable. 24. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future in life. 25. Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards and leads us from this world to another. 26. Excess generally causes reaction and produces a change in the opposite direction. 27. For a man to conquer himself is the first and noblest of all victories. 28. There are three classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. 29. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. 30. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds. 31. Man, a being in search of meaning. 32. The soul takes flight to the world that is invisible, but there arriving, she is sure of bliss. 33. Life must be lived as play. 34. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. 35. Everything that deceives may be said to enchant. 36. Justice means minding one's own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. 37. The society which loses its grip on the past is in danger, for it produces men who know nothing but the present. 38. There is no harm in repeating a good thing. 39. The intoxication of anger, love, or wine hinders men from acting rationally. 40. When men speak ill of thee, live so as nobody may believe them. 41. States are as the men are. They grow out of human characters. 42. Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. 43. He who commits injustice is ever made more wretched than he who suffers it. 44. Better a little which is well done than a great deal imperfectly. 45. The image of the good is the truest and best. 46. All things arise out of opposites and are propelled by an internal opposition. 47. Knowledge is the food of the soul. 48. A hero is born among 100, a wise man is found among 1,000, but an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. 49. There is in every one of us, even those who seem to be most moderate, a type of desire that is terrible, wild, and lawless. 50. Books give a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. 51. The greatest of all lessons is to know oneself. 52. The unexamined life is not worth living. 53. Every heart sings a song, incomplete until another heart whispers back. 54. Nothing beats experience. 55. No human thing is of serious importance. 56. Poverty consists in want of that which we have not the wisdom to earn. 57. The greatest mistake in the treatment of diseases is that there are physicians for the body and physicians for the soul, although the two cannot be separated. 58. Wonder is the feeling of the philosopher, and philosophy begins in wonder. 59. Truth is the beginning of every good thing, both in heaven and on earth. 60. There are two things you can't recover in life: the word after it's said and the time after it's lost. 61. The mind is everything. What you think you become. 62. No evil can happen to a good man, either in life or after death. 63. Life should be lived as play. 64. Man is a being in search of meaning. 65. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. 66. The object of education is to teach us to love beauty. 67. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. 68. Wise men talk because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. 69. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. 70. Money-making and self-indulgence on the one hand and virtue on the other are like two things in a balance, rising and falling in inverse ratio. 71. There will be no end to the troubles of states or of humanity itself till philosophers become kings in this world. 72. Character is simply habit long continued. 73. One who is injured ought not to return the injury, for on no account can it be right to do an injustice. 74. Rhetoric is the art of ruling the minds of men. 75. Justice in the life and conduct of the state is possible only as first it resides in the hearts and souls of the citizens. 76. A friend is someone who allows you to reveal your innermost thoughts and feelings. 77. Nothing can be more absurd than the practice that prevails in our country of men and women not following the same pursuits. 78. There is no possibility of being wise on an empty stomach. 79. The philosopher is in love with truth, that is, not with the changing world of sensation, which is the object of opinion, but with the true being of things. 80. The greatest error of a man is to think that he is working for his secular life, forgetting the salvation of his soul. 81. Man is a plant, not fixed in the earth, but heavenly, whose head, like a root, is turned upward. 82. The unexamined life is not worth living for a human being. 83. Human nature is created such that it is impossible for anyone to be excellent in many arts. 84. That is what learning is. You suddenly understand something you've understood all your life, but in a new way. 85. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. 86. Ignorance is the root and stem of all evil. 87. Democracy is a charming form of government, full of variety and disorder. 88. The direction which education starts a man will determine his future life. 89. The soul is the whole man, and the body is only its instrument. 90. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. 91. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. 92. Knowledge becomes evil if the aim be not virtuous. 93. Man is the measure of all things, of things that they are, and of things that are not, that they are not. 94. Thinking, the talking of the soul with itself. 95. The true creator is necessity, who is the mother of our invention. 96. There is no such thing as a lover's ugly beloved. 97. Not truth, but faith. It is that keeps the world alive. 98. When the mind is thinking, it is talking to itself. 99. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. 100. Good actions give strength to ourselves and inspire good actions in others,